Hello and welcome to this video. I'm doing a book study of this book, The Personal Aura by Dora Gelder Kunz. She's well known to the Theosophists because she was the president of the Theosophical Society of America for 12 years. And she was also well known among the medical field because she developed a technique of healing called therapeutic touch, somewhat similar to pranic healing. Now, she was a clairvoyant and she made an artist draw what she had clairvoyantly saw of the various auras of people so that we could understand what an aura is. Basically, what she calls the personal aura among theosophists is also known as the astral body or the emotional body. That is the body of all our emotions. It is roughly as long as big as our half our arm's length. So whatever is our arm's length, half of that is how big this aura is, and it is egg shaped for all adults. Now it consists of certain features mostly common from all people, uh, except there will be exceptions which we will see. The upper part of the aura consists of the feelings and emotions which are come from previous births, certain qualities that we have from our previous births. The lower part of the aura, which is below this a green belt, consists of the emotions that we felt during this birth, which influence us. Those are the emotions and things that thoughts that disturb us. Mostly, it's not thoughts; it's all emotions, but emotions can be mixed with thoughts. Then there is a green belt which consists of the work that we are presently occupied in. That is what the green belt consists of. Or this egg-shaped aura that we have has got this funnel-like structure all around it, which takes in and gives out energy all the time. And this you can see as yellow all around it, though it's quite small compared to the aura, so it's difficult to see. Now, there are colors in this aura, and these colors represent certain feelings. For example, the light blue represents a devotional feeling, pink represents affection, green represents action, and purple usually is a spiritual feeling, a feeling of divinity. Then red is anger, orange represents pride. Here in this case, you see red and green lines alternating each other. So this person had green represents empathy. So red and green alternating means this person felt both empathetic and angry for some particular cause or some particular uh, person or situation he was in. Brown is always selfishness or self-centeredness, and grays represent depression. So this is the general color scheme of these auras. Now let's go on to look at more of a person's aura. Anyway, let's take the cases that she has taken. She has started the study with right from a baby before he is born. That is a mother with a baby inside her. What does her aura look like? In this case, you see the upper aura has got the pink of affection, and it has also got the blue of devotion, which you see over here, and it's also got the green of practical thinking. There is very little of yellow, which represents intellect. Possibly the mother right now is praying a lot for the baby. The baby's aura you see as a sphere inside which there are several concentric colors, blue, red, yellow, green, all of that. That is all the baby's aura. As you can see that there is three blue lines from the blue of the mother dashed lines which go to the baby. So all her prayers are actually going to the baby. That is what this represents. Whereas this green, which represents the empathy factor of hers, and the pink, which is the pink here represents what her nature is from past births. This pink represents her active emotions. So even her active emotions that are there of affection right now and her empathy, you see these lines do not penetrate this white circle. This white circle is a kind of protective uh, cover for this baby's body. It is the aura literally protects the baby from the emotions day-to-day emotions of the mother, even if those emotions are of a good quality, like empathy and affection. So these are the things that you see. Apart from that, you see one more thing, that earlier the aura had a funnel-like shape. It had a conical funnel-like shape, but the aura of the mother's this funnel thing has actually become a cylinder, which means she does not take in outside energy much. That is what that shape of that funnel, which is all around her aura, has now become such that she does not take external energy much. Which you see, actually, you'll observe those people, that you find that the mothers have their own special aura and they seem to be protecting the life inside them. Also, in this body of the mother, you see there are a lot of negative emotions, and there has been pride in the past. The gray represents depression. So she's had a tough life, but she's also done a lot of things with, which is the green. She has got empathy, and there is some blue here, but it is mixed with gray. So there is all kinds of things in her aura. But the thing that is most active here right now is the pink, which is the affection that this child, this mother feels for the child. Now let's look at the aura of a child. The aura of a child is cylindrical right now. It has not yet become oval. It's more cylindrical. Its auric body with all the different colors have not developed. In fact, the colors are like little wings inside the body of the physical body of the baby itself. The aura is like a translucent sort of shell, like the mother of pearl kind of shine on it. And it is still not developed that green band which you saw of the mother, which is quite typical of all auras. As we will see further, all the auras will have mostly a green band, which has not yet developed in the baby. Each of these colors, which is inside this baby's body, represents the potential for what kind of emotion or nature that child will have. For example, the purple represents a potential for a love for order, systematic thinking, that type of thinking this child will have. It will also have blue, which is a sign of willpower, the power to do things. So willpower, apart from a devotional feeling, it also represents willpower, the color blue. The red represents the potential of being getting angry too soon, and also of love. Then green represents a person who will be a doer and achiever. So all these colors are there in the child. Then there are these three karmic indicators which are there in his aura, which represents people or situations he will have to face in his life as he grows older. These are also part of his aura. Also, he's also got the brown of selfishness, which represents also self-centeredness, which we know in all babies will exist. Let's look at another aura. This is the aura of someone who is a 4-year-old child now. This child has not yet developed that green belt, but from a round aura of a baby, the 4-year-old child has become a little more elongated. It still has the innocent upper aura of a opalescent, that is mother of pearl, shiny white aura. This baby has, but now its intellect is developing. That is the yellow, and that intellect is reaching out to the world. When the color reaches out to the outside of the aura, that intelligence is working in the world. That is what it means. You also see the conical, the little cones. They have also become well formed in this 4-year-old child's aura. The blue represents willpower and possessiveness also. Pink represents affection. But in this child's case, there are some lines in this pink. That is because of some strain and emotional insecurity that this child has, because this child had lost her father just a year ago. Also, you notice one more thing, that unlike the aura of the mother that we saw, they were all like horizontal. The lines, the green line is horizontal. The lines were clear. But in the child's case, you see the lines are all drooping. They're all drooping. That's because of this child having lost her father recently, There is some sadness in the child's aura. Also, this child also has karmic indicators of things that could happen in a next life, in her coming life as she grows older. The green in her aura represents artistic and imaginative nature, which, if she wants, she develops it. She could become a good artist. The dark brown is, of course, selfishness. Dora went on to meet this girl when she was a grandmother. She's after many decades, and she saw that all the colors were much brighter. This lady expressed her love and made relationships with people easily and deeply. And sometimes she was hurt by the response of the people, but she learned to think through it. Though this person never developed the green, that artistic or imaginative qualities of her nature, but she loved to express her feelings, and she loved connection with people. As you can see, all that is there in this world, in this child's aura. She likes to interact with the world. She likes to give love to the world. She is a very distinct person, even at a 4-year-old. So that is what Dora saw, even many more years later. Now let's look at the aura of a 7-year-old boy. In this case, now you see the beginnings of the green band and the separation between the upper and lower aura very clearly. Here, the tinges of purple are there in the upper part of this boy's aura, which indicates an interest in spirituality. Here, there is a blue, but it is not good enough to reach the outer parts of the aura. So he doesn't have that much willpower. He has some willpower, but it is not yet expressing itself to the world. The pink represents that he is not only does he feel love, but he's also loved. So that is coming to the outside, but it is kind of diminishing. And then we have the green of the center, which is developing, which is showing that he has some ability for practical work. There are karmic indicators for troubles that he will have with certain people. But he has one feature, which is a lot of green below his feet, around his feet area, which indicates that he could be a artistic and imaginative person. He could have aesthetic skills. Almost all auras have this dark brown at the bottom, which represents selfishness. Let's now look at an adolescent girl, that is a girl who's a teenager. There is a lot of lavender and pink in her aura, which actually signifies freedom, self-identity, and affection. So that is what the aura of lavender and pink shows in this child. Apart from that, she has green and yellow mixed in her upper part of the aura, which indicates artistic ability and intellect. And then there are these undulating pink lines, which actually show that she has got a wavering uh, set of emotions of affection. They are mixed with dream, and uh, the line between dream and reality is right now vague for her. So that is why this pink lines of emotion. The lower part of the aura indicates many things, which are what she's currently facing. From the hip down to the knee, whatever are the things in her aura are the things she's actually facing. Here you see at the knee level and a little below these spirals, which indicate her irritation with her parents. Obviously, they are not letting her, giving her the freedom that she wants. She has one distinct feature of a horse shaped in a spiritual color, with a spiritual purple all around it and a blue color, which gives it a religious feeling. She has a deep sense of love for horses, which signify freedom for her. And she really loves freedom, but she isn't getting any kind of freedom to express herself. She has a lot of artistic ability, which is there in this green color. But there are these gray kind of objects here, which represents a depression that she has felt because of that artistic ability. Maybe people have run her down because of that. So there's a lot of green and a lot of pink in her whole aura. She's a person who is a loving person but wants to do something, but because of her parents' opposition, she is finding it hard to get that freedom. And then this is what. And finally, of course, you have the brown at the bottom of her aura, which represents selfishness. Now let's look at another aura. This was an artist in her 30s. This, according to the author, is a very well balanced aura, because whatever are the colors in the upper part of the aura is there at the bottom also. So all the colors like pink, yellow, purple, blue are all there at the bottom also. And the green band is very well developed. It's really broad, because this is a person who's doing a lot physically. She's very active. She has gained a lot of recognition as an artist, and she dabbles in various kinds of artwork. She's also a carpenter, and she's making her living through her artwork. So her green band is really broad. Also, these all these things which are there below represent various memories she had, like these pink objects that you see, the spiral and all. They are various difficult memories that she had. The geometric shapes that you see in her green band, they represent the things that she's presently interested in and she's working on. So she is interested in how there is a lot of geometry in nature, and that is what she's actually presently working on and studying. So her presently this green aura is full of these geometric shapes. What Dora says is the auras keep changing at every stage of our life. Every day, every minute, they keep changing depending on our feelings, but predominantly some things will remain constant for a while. So that is what she has drawn over here. But these auras will keep changing. Like what is currently, this artist is interested in geometric forms, so this is present in her present aura. But that will change as things change. So that is what this aura is all about. Let's look at another person's aura. This is the aura of a man who's a little disturbed. If you look at the top part, all the colors are clean, nicely drawn. There is no problem in that. But the bottom part has got many features. It has got the orange, one large plume-like orange, which actually represents pride. In this case, this man had very rigid ideas, so that is represented by this orange. Then he had this bands of red and green, which I said earlier represents anger and empathy, because red is anger, green is empathy. So he had anger and empathy both for some social causes that he was dealing with. Now, in his green aura, you have these kind of curved, half smileys that he's got in pink and in yellow. You have them in yellow and in pink. Now, these represent that he has a very systematic approach to liking and understanding people. Liking is represented by the pink dashes, and understanding is represented by the yellow dashes. Yellow always represents intellect, so yellow dashes. So he is trying to reach out to people, trying to develop relationships, trying to be a person who can form bonds with people. So he's doing it very deliberately. Maybe that's what his profession is all about. So he's also got a lot of difficulties. For example, the difficulties which are there in his business is and his home life is expressed in this green with these orange tear-like drops. This represents his difficulties in his work life. Also, there is one snake-like form in the lower part of his body. So this was because as a child, and this is what Dora found when she asked him that whether he had nightmares, and he said, yes, I had nightmares as a child. So as a child, he had nightmares. So now it is not affecting him anymore. And of course, there are other memories from which affect him from his childhood. Now we are looking at a woman in her 90s, and this is a aura of a woman who has a good intellect, but her intellect right now is not reaching out to the world. So people cannot make out that she is actually inside very intelligent, because an intellect has to not reach to the outside of the aura, to the edge of the aura. So that is happening. That is not happening. She has a lot of affection, which she's able to communicate. She has this blue, which is a religious feeling, also willpower, which she is able to exercise. She has the purple of uh, spiritual feelings also in her aura, but the whole aura has got one gray kind of feeling on the edge, which represents her the fact that she is slowing down. She is slowing down, dulling down. In her aura of her green band, there are faces of children and the face of her husband and more faces, because she believed in working for children's welfare and women's suffrage. That was one great work that she was doing, and that is why there are so many faces in small form. You can see there are many faces on this green band. The lower part of her aura has a lot of affection, but there is another one round circle with two faces, one of a baby and man, because she lost her son, and and she has an image of the son as a baby and as an adult in her aura, because that is a sad memory for her, which she stores in her emotional aura all the time. Below her feet are lots of gray and green colors, which indicate forcefulness against opposition in youth and depression when she was young. So when she was young, she faced a lot of difficulties, and that she had to fight for her what she wanted to do, and that is what is her lowest part of her auras reflect. These blue lines, they reflect that this part of her life she is not able to communicate. The sadness which she has to of losing her son, she is not able to communicate. That is what this blue line here represents. All of these negative things that have happened to her when she was young, that also she does not is not able to express. That is why, like, she has closed all that. She has literally closed that with this color blue. That is what her aura represents. The next auras are about people who dedicated themselves to some one activity. In this case, this is a pianist composer. He's a professional pianist, and he has, if you see, the upper part of his aura has no pink, though he has a lot of sympathy. There's lots of green. Green represents sympathy, and his work appears to come from a higher space. So these dotted lines coming from this higher space of his. The gray in the solar plexus area, which is his abdomen area, indicates lack of energy. The orange lines are due to daily injections he takes because his right hand was paralyzed. So he's a pianist, but he's still playing piano. Though his right hand is paralyzed, he's playing with his left hand, and he takes daily injections. So there are dotted orange lines uh, around his solar plexus. He has got affection, but it is depressed because it is not being expressed to the outside world. You see the blue line once again, because there are too many demands on him. This side, you see, the affection is mixed even with gray, because he's unable to manage the demands which are being played on him. The yellow is mixed with green in the lower part also, because he puts a lot of effort into his piano practice, a lot of thought and effort. At the bottommost, there is a lot of gray brown, which indicates childhood pressure, because he was a child prodigy, and he had been asked to he was asked to sorry, 1 minute, let's go back. He had been asked to play piano. He was pressurized by his parents. So this represents his childhood depression, even this green plume. If we study the same aura a little more in detail, you see that the upper aura did not have any pink. The lower aura has a lot of strain. He cannot express his feelings. He feels a lot of financial strain also. And all of this has caused that stroke to happen, which has paralyzed his right side. And but the upper part indicates that he has a deep love for music. He lives literally for music, and his deepest and purest thoughts are for music. The yellow in his green belt indicates intelligence, and the green part represents his musical ability. So this was one kind of piano player who had a lot of problems in his family life, financial problems, and all that, which you can see has affected his physical body, because now he is paralyzed on one side of his body, and his aura shows the various problems of his body. This is another type of concert pianist who, if you now see, he's got pink in the upper part of his aura. He's got green, which all represents, all the greens represent his piano playing abilities. So immense piano playing abilities, but no intellect, no yellow at all. You saw in the previous aura there was yellow in his upper aura, but in this person's uh, upper aura has no intellect, but he's got these two stars which represent intuitive feelings that this person has, based on which he is able to play his piano so well. Also, you notice all his feelings are going to the outside of the aura, so he's able to express everything, including his pink, the pink of his affection, which you saw in the previous case. The pink was blocked by the blue line. You saw the pink being blocked, whereas in this case the feelings of affection were expressed by this piano player. And he had a lot of love for music. Also, the blue lines here represents some scars that he had. These blue lines and circles represent some scars he had because he's from Russia and he was separated from his family for some time, and that created some scars. But later on, he was united and everything was fine. The red swirls in this blue part represents some anger that he had, maybe against some people who treated him badly. But this green plumes here represents that he feels good about himself. Then the lowest part represents the depression and fear that he felt in childhood, as at the age of 9 he was sent away to learn music. So this is very long back. But presently his aura is of a happy person. So that is and a person who is loved by his family. Apparently, this person had several daughters who really were devoted to him, and he had no problem with his family, whereas the earlier pianist had some problems with his wife and financial difficulties too. So these are the two contrasting auras, and you see how the emotions have affected the physical health in the previous case. The absence of yellow in this aura means that he was not a thinker in either the abstract sense or practically, but instead devoted to his music with the intuitive insights he got, represented by the two stars. Like I said, these two stars represent intuitive insights. His intuition worked directly into his hands as he played music. So this is rather unusual. The whole aura shows a serene person dedicated to his profession, receiving immense love and care from his family. So that is two people who were dedicated to one type of profession. Now we look at another person who is dedicated to another type of work. This is a social environmental activist. Now this person actually has trees in his aura because he is so such a important cause for him that he actually has trees made in his green belt. So the rest of the aura has got purple for spirituality, green for empathy, yellow for a very bright, really bright yellow, shows a bright intellect, green empathy, as I said. And this green big belt represents the practical thinker that he has. The trees represent the concern for environment. And he was also interested in global economy and social justice. So those are the other symbols on his green belt. So the green belt has all the causes that you have, all the things. For theosophists, it might be symbols of the Theosophical Society in their green aura, if that is what they are spending all their time trying to spread. For Buddhists, it might be the teachings of Buddha, symbolic representations of the teachings of Buddha. It depends on what work you are doing. What is it that really interests you? People who are only interested in building more homes, collecting more money, that type of thinking, maybe that is what will be there in there. So, what is the work that you're doing? Representations of that will be in the green aura. Down below, you have a lot of difficulties in his aura, uh, because you do see that though all the colors which are there on top are present in the bottom, so in a way it is a balanced aura, but there are difficulties because some of the feelings are not being expressed, like the pink is not being expressed fully, though partly expressed but not fully. And then there is he has a lot of willpower, but he has spots of red in that willpower, which shows he gets angry. He has an orange plume, which represents pride. So this person was a strong person who took up social causes all his life. And as he grew older, all the disturbances, the orange plume disappeared and all his disturbances disappeared. His upper and lower aura both became harmonious. So you see that he, in his upper aura, there was a lot of good qualities. But so with those good qualities, he took up social causes, he took up many interesting things, but he had a lot of emotional disturbances in that. But slowly, because his inner nature was a good nature, both upper and lower became harmonized in one form. So now we look at another aura. This is a person who's a painter, and here you see a very big difference in her present life and her past life. How do we make that out? Now, her upper aura, as you see, has nice colors, but this painter was a deaf person. So this green aura, which represents green color, which represents empathy, does not reach to the outside world because it is closed by one blue line, is because she was deaf, so she couldn't express the empathy that she really felt. She could not communicate to the world. But she was an artist, though being deaf. And she, in her green band, she has objects of things that she's currently interested in the artworks, the type of artwork, some Indian art, some different geometric shapes that she's presently interested in. Those are there in the green belt, which is quite broad and extends even down. Then there are these two rose formations, one here and one up there, which represent a particular person who was very kind to her, helped her, supported her to develop her artistic skills, and also helped her to get away from her strict European family and go to America, where she lived very peacefully and happily. So this particular person, though she loved him only platonically because he was married, and she loved him even after he died. Though she herself never loved anyone else and didn't marry. So this was her her present life, which you see full of pink, full of affection, because his memory keeps her life affection, a feeling of affection alive in her. His memory keeps that feeling of affection inside her alive. But the past part of her is this lower part, which is below her feet, which still affects her because you see the dotted lines are touching her body. The blue dashes represent the strained relations she had with her family, which is her past. The mixed green and blue colors represent her sad childhood and youth when she wouldn't conform to her Victorian family. So she was born in the early 20th century where the Victorian thinking was there in Europe. And they wanted her to be one puppet like beautiful girl who will get married and leave the house. But she wanted to be an artist. Her desire was to be an artist. And because she was partially deaf, she had her own thinking in that. And her parents were pushing her to become a different kind of person. So she faced a lot of unhappiness and during that childhood time. So that is her past. Her present now, when she has left her family, gone to another country, and developed her artistic skills with the support of another man and support of all the people that support her artwork, her present is very happy, which is represented by the pink. Okay, so this was another aura. This is a designer or architect's aura. In this person's aura, you see a lot of yellow, but there's no affection. There's a lot of intellect, no affection. It's a harmonious aura of a man who's at peace with himself, and he has very few scars and and he's free of stress. Which you can see, the aura is pretty clear, unlike previous auras that you saw. There were so many formations. Like you compare this aura, so many formations in the lower part of the body, but in this person's aura, there are no such formations. He has an orange plume, which represents pride. In his case, it represents complacence, someone who knows himself and what he wants, and he's self-sufficient. His green is a big green belt in which there are a lot of geometric forms. which show his deep interest in these kinds of forms. In fact, when the Dora was getting the artist to sketch his aura, she could he would keep on drawing something to in a pad, and it was all geometric shapes that he was drawing. He was fascinated with geometry. Then there is a blue ring in his aura, which represents a painful emotion. In fact, he had a wife who was no more, and he loved her deeply, which is why the blue and the blue ring representing his wife are very close to the pink. And he never remarried, though he has never forgotten her either. So this was a more of a harmonious aura with the person's uh, profession in the aura. And though now you see, he had all his affection for only his wife, he doesn't have any affection for anyone else. So that appears to be there in this aura. Here is an aura of a youthful idealist, another person who was very concentrated on one thing. And here, this is a girl who was full of very noble ideals. She used to meditate a lot. She had been meditating for 4 5 years, which is why she had these purple bands in her aura. There was a lot of pink in her aura, along with the yellow of intellect. The green band had a face of a baby because she just had delivered a baby. And of course, all her work was connected to the baby. Then she had below for, she had various other things where she has a problem in trying to express her emotions and her empathy to people because of her blue band here. She also has the beginnings of pride because she was a single child and pampered a lot. Down below, she has an arrow shape which represents a recurring nightmare she has as a child, but it's below her feet, so it doesn't bother her anymore. And of course, the gray represents depression that she had. So this is a person who was an idealistic person with lot of things on what she thought the world should be like. And that is the aura of this person. Now, this is a person who has got polio, and because of that polio, he has injections. And just before this aura was drawn, he'd had an injection for of adrenaline. Adrenaline, is a injection which gives energy, and that energy is represented in red dots. The gray is the depression of this person's aura because he has polio and has lack of energy. So that gray represents the lack of energy and depression. His intellect is also poor and it does not reach to the outside of his aura. He has a lot of spiritual willpower, which is the blue color, which goes down and makes him walk and do all the things that he's doing only because of that spiritual willpower which is there in his aura. Then you see he's had a lot of grace in his body. Acha, this is a lady, sorry. This lady has a lot of grace in her aura because there have been a lot of times in which many treatments have been tried and she has failed. Then even there's some orange here where she's been trying to make something of herself, but she has failed. And also there is a pink here in her aura, which is represents someone she liked. Now this is a girl who has polio. She also has asthma. She has an aura which is very poor in quality, as you see, very baby in structure, almost all gray. She is barely able to walk, and she's also not got good breathing abilities due to asthma, but a lot of willpower based on which she is able to manage. She also has the pink of affection in her body, and that's how she is coping with her ill health. So this is the aura of person with polio. Now this is a person with Down syndrome, a child with Down syndrome who's only 7 years old, and you see here a lot of gray, very light yellow of intellect, obviously not very intelligent. The gray represents poor health, low energy, and weakness. That is the only color in his aura which is bright is pink because he has a lot of affection. in his nature, the Down syndrome child. And other than that, there are karmic indicators, one of whom which has opened up. These karmic indicators are not opened up, but this one in the center, in the solar plexus, is opened up. And that karmic indicator is the reason for his Down syndrome. This orange is the time is represents a time when he was trying to develop something of himself, to develop his self confidence. But one more thing you can note in his aura, that he has no brown of selfishness. He's a completely unselfish child. Also, his aura is not completely oval, and his the cones at the outside are much broader. They are taking in way too much energy and not giving out any energy. It is absorbing the energy from outside. So this is the child's aura, and a lot of difficulties the child has in dealing with his life, physically and mentally challenged. This is a person with acute anxiety. This person has is in he has a loss of some business, a loss of family, unable to connect with his family, a lot of negative thoughts that he's got. And his auras, the speciality of his aura is, what is different is, there are two rings, one blue ring here and one blue ring outside. The blue ring here is not allowing his inner emotions to go out, and the blue ring outside is not letting him understand other people's emotions. So he can't sense other people's emotions, nor can he express his own emotions. So, and all these twirls and all, everything represents disturbance in his mind. The red represents a lot of anger and annoyance that he has got. All this represents that. And he has a lot of difficulty dealing with the world. Right now, he's a lot of gray in his aura, which represents depression. So this man has acute anxiety. He is extremely perturbed. He could not sit still for a minute. He was on all kinds of therapies and medication, and not at all himself, because his business was in trouble, his family relations were poor, and he was unable to express what was going on deeply inside him, which can be seen in his aura. Now, this is the best of all the auras. This is a person who is a chronic heart patient. This lady is a Russian lady in her 40s who was an invalid, bedridden due to an enlarged heart. But she had a practice of doing meditation, and which was a source of sympathy and affection for all. She had many Russian friends who would come, sit by her, talk to her. Though she had suffered a lot, she had escaped from Russia. She was imprisoned in Turkey, and finally in America, she married a man whom she deeply loved. But she was an invalid from the beginning of the marriage. She was bedridden. Yet she kept herself positive because of an invalid nature only. This, you see, the aura is sloping down, but the rest of her aura has got a lot of affection, a lot of sympathy and feelings, which she is not able to fully express to the world. But still, it is a very well balanced aura. It has all the colors of empathy, intelligence, spiritual, willpower, affection in it. And there are some features which show the painful experiences of uh, childhood. Now, at the end of it, that those are all the auras that were discussed in this book. The what Dora suggests is that in order to change our aura, we have to make a consistent effort. Just like we make a consistent effort to change our body, our the emotions that we carry inside us, we have to put a constant and disciplined effort to change it. We must perceive our emotions the moment we feel it, not suppress it, and we must express our emotions. It's important to express one's emotions and feel confident that it is okay to express one's emotions. All that is important. But if you want to change certain emotions, then you can think, like, for example, if your emotions of anger, you can say, I am angry at this moment, and work through it. Of course, there are many techniques to get over resentment, anger, or anxiety, or depression, which Dora also suggests some ideas in that. But her main thing that she suggests for the health of the emotional body is meditation. So meditation is one of the main things she suggests that a person should do. She calls it identifying with the heart center. So she suggests that for 3 to 5 minutes a day, if you focus on inner peace, on that inner heart center, and think of it as a flame inside you, and go into that flame and feel yourself in the calmness and peace of that flame, then you will feel a sense of unity with the whole universe over time, little by little, as you keep practicing this. And then you can visualize people who need love and affection in that flame, and give them love and affection from that space of the flame. She also suggests detaching yourself from your personal self, your personal ego, and developing a sense of unity with everybody, as everybody deserves our love and our empathy. She suggests projecting love uh, as a way of uh, doing service to the world. Now she says that it is intuition which tells us without words what we should do. So when we go into that inner space of the heart, when we feel that sense of unity, there is an intuitive capacity which opens us inside us, which is related to our own timeless self. And then that timeless self will give us some intuition, some insight, which will be a means of seeing into the real core or heart of the things. Mostly it is our disordered minds which prevents us from getting a glimpse of the intuitive insights. So if we keep ourselves calm, enter that space of the heart through meditation, and wait for that intuitive insight, we will get insights on people and situations that come across us. So, this whole experience of the feeling of expansion, which includes the whole world, is attained by withdrawing to the stillness within our own self. Then we feel a unity with the entire world. Within and without are no longer opposed to one another. This happens because we quiet the turbulence of our emotional and mental life, which makes it impossible to listen to the stillness within. I'm very sorry for the disturbances. I have a special needs adult boy, and today we've had some uh, pest control done. So the house is a mess, and he is also a little disturbed. But generally, I just want to put out this video. So let me finish it. How come what may. So let's continue. So she says that the way to sort of reach this intuitive space is to come to this inner heart center and then calm our minds down, close our mental thinking at that stage to see whether we can listen to our intuitive insights. Thus, we get a feeling of being part of the universal whole, and we get this experience of wholeness, which fills us with new energies and gives us a rush of love and empathy and a clarity of mind, which also releases creative imagination in us and gives us an idea of doing something with our whatever potential we have. So she suggests uh, doing a lot of meditation to heal this personal aura, this emotional body, to regain our inner stability and calm. As we saw, almost every aura that we saw, except the Down syndrome child, all the upper parts of the aura had good qualities, but they were not being fully expressed in the lower part. So all of us have got pure emotions, emotions of devotion, emotions of capacity of intelligence, capacity to feel love, capacity to reach to the spiritual side of us. So we all have that. We have to find a way to express that in our daily life. So she suggests meditation because she says that meditation gives us the ability to remain calm and stable throughout our difficulties. It can become so integrated into our lives that its presence influences everything we say and do. When we reach this stage, meditation is not a formal practice for which we sit. It becomes a link that we can re-establish through a moment's attention. Thus, the higher energies which are awakened can become an active ingredient of a daily life. So this is what is there in this book. I try to bring out. There are more issues, but I hope that this has been useful for you. And this is freely available in Amazon. You can buy it. It's not very expensive, and I would suggest those interested in healing, in these kind of auras, etc., read this book of a true uh, clairvoyant from the Theosophical Society. Thank you.